Take a closer look at the top of your screen. What you're about to witness is a chilling moment. Crystal Williams, a 22-year-old woman from Atlanta, Georgia, and her family ambushed and shot dead by her crazy and enraged ex-boyfriend in cold blood. On the night of September 6, 2020, at approximately 10:30 p.m., the Dunwoody Police Department was dispatched to the Dunwoody Glen Apartments, located off Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, following reports of a shooting. When officers arrived, they were met with a heart-stopping and tragic scene. They found 3 gunshot victims inside and near an SUV, all seemingly shot at close range. Just moments earlier, Crystal Williams, her mother, and her younger brother Malachi Williams had been leaving the Dunwoody Glen Apartments in Dunwoody, Georgia, blissfully unaware of the deadly plan that had been set in motion to take their lives. Suddenly, they would be ambushed, mercilessly shot at point-blank range. Crystal's mother would bravely step in front of the gunfire to protect her children, but the killer would disappear into the night, leaving behind only horror and heartbreak. But before we get to the haunting footage that shows a family's lives being taken in cold blood, let me take you back to the city where it all started. This story takes us to Atlanta, Georgia, a city with undeniable Southern roots, where modern culture and rich history intertwine. A major tourist destination, Atlanta is known for its growing number of talented celebrities, its diverse musical heritage, and, of course, its Southern hospitality. But in a neighborhood far removed from the glitzy streets of downtown, a heartbreaking tragedy unfolded. Crystal Williams, a vibrant 22-year-old woman, was a shining light to those who knew her. Born and raised in the heart of Atlanta, she was part of a tight, deeply loving family. Raised by her mother, Danielle Sims, who was fiercely proud of her children, Crystal's accomplishments were frequently celebrated online by her mom, who shared everything from her academic achievements to her personal milestones. Danielle was more than a mother. She was Crystal's biggest cheerleader.
Fine sangria. President, don't look this way. You don't know anything about this.
What you tell them chicks? What you tell them chicks in the street? Don't come for me.
You can't beat me and you can't join me.
Dude. Oh, yours is cute. Mine look all sick. Look, where are my eyebrows? All of a sudden I got this big old forehead. You all cute.
Crystal had a special bond with her siblings, particularly her younger brother, Malachi Williams. In fact, the two shared the same birthday, a fact that made their connection even more meaningful. Each year they celebrated together, marking another year of shared memories and mutual support. It was clear to everyone that Crystal was loved deeply by her family and that she felt the same way. Academically, Crystal was driven and performed exceptionally well. She was focused on her future and had dreams of becoming successful in a career that would allow her to thrive independently. Those who knew her described Crystal as warm, determined, and full of hope for the future. She had big plans and was excited about the next chapter in her life. But like many young women, Crystal's journey was not without her setbacks. At the time of her death, she had recently ended a short but intense relationship with Justin Dion Turner, a 23-year-old man she had briefly lived with for about 2 months. During their time together, Crystal had believed she had found the one, even beginning to try on wedding gowns and envisioning a future where she would one day walk down the aisle. However, as the relationship progressed, Crystal began to see warning signs that she had ignored early on. Despite her initial hopes, she soon realized that Justin was not the partner she had envisioned. With the support of her loving family, Crystal made the courageous decision to leave the relationship behind, a decision rooted in self-preservation and the desire for a better, safer future. She had dreams of independence, and she knew that in order to build that future, she had to walk away from a relationship that was no longer healthy for her. But little did Crystal know, this decision would cost her everything. On the night of September 6, 2020, Crystal Williams, her mother, Danielle Sims, and her younger brother, Malachi Williams, were leaving the Dunwoody Glen apartments in Dunwoody, Georgia. The family had just finished their evening and was making their way out of the complex when the nightmare began. As their SUV slowly pulled onto the road, a car suddenly and deliberately cut them off, blocking their path completely. The driver was none other than Justin Dion Turner, the man who had once been Crystal's partner. Surveillance footage from the scene later revealed that Justin stepped out of his vehicle with a gun in his hand. Before anyone could make sense of the situation, all hell let loose. What followed was an unprovoked and brutal act of aggression. Justin confronted the family, holding them at gunpoint. Without warning, he opened fire on the SUV. The rapid gunshots shattered the night's calm and rang out in a devastating display of violence.
In an instinctual act of selflessness and love, Danielle Sims, Crystal's mother, did what any parent would do. She threw herself between her children and the gunman. Shielding her son and daughter with her own body, Danielle's desperate attempt to protect them was tragically unsuccessful. As the bullets rained down, Danielle was struck and killed instantly. Crystal, too, fell victim to the gunfire, struck fatally in the chaos. Her life was snatched away in an instant, leaving her family and friends in shock and disbelief. Malachi, though also hit, was incredibly lucky to survive. He was wounded, but would live to tell the story of the night that claimed the lives of his mother and sister. Another teenager in the vehicle managed to duck down and avoid injury, though the trauma of what unfolded would haunt them for years. What had begun as an ordinary evening for a mother and her children had turned into a horrifying and senseless tragedy.
And tonight we're following a developing story in Dunwoody, a mother and daughter shot and by an ex-boyfriend.
Well, tonight the alleged is behind bars after police say he violently ambushed the family. That happened Sunday night on Peachtree Industrial Boulevard just as the family was driving. Police say they were cut off by another car, and that's when shots were fired. CBS 46's Adam Murphy is on top of this story. He joins us live at the scene in Dunwoody. Adam.
Good evening, Tracy. I just got my hands on surveillance video of this terrible incident from a local grocery store back here next to Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, and just a few feet from the entrance of the apartment complex. It will give you an exclusive perspective on what happened out here, and I will warn you, the video may be disturbing.
We received a 911 call of multiple people who had been shot.
Police responded to a triple caught on camera outside the Dunwoody Glen apartments Sunday night, terrorizing the community.
When I showed up from work, the police officers were still here. And when I asked them, what happened, he said it had been a homicide.
The three victims were leaving the apartment complex when they were cut off by a car at the intersection of Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. That's when investigators believe 23-year-old Justin Turner blocked the car of his ex-girlfriend, 22-year-old Crystal Williams. Moments later, police say he got out and opened fire.
Miss Williams, Crystal Williams, was pronounced deceased at the scene. Her mother, Miss Sims, was transported to an area hospital where she later passed away.
Williams' 18-year-old brother and Sims' son survived the ambush. Plus, a juvenile in the car was not harmed.
I mean, I've been in this community for like 5 months, and everybody love everybody, get along with everybody, and I would never imagine that this would happen,
The suspect, Justin Turner, was arrested Monday and charged with Jail records show he was also arrested in April and released a few days later after being charged with aggravated assault against a police officer.
Now he has the rest of his life to think about that bad decision in a moment of passion. And he ruined his life, he took other lives, and it's just senseless.
I have also learned that the first court appearance for Justin Turner is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. CBS 46 will be there. We'll have the very latest for you then. We're live tonight in Dunwoody. Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
At approximately 10:30 p.m. on the night of September 6, 2020, police were dispatched to the Dunwoody Glen Apartments located off Peachtree Industrial Boulevard following reports of a shooting. When officers arrived at the scene, they were met with a chilling and tragic sight. 3 gunshot victims were discovered inside and near the family's SUV, a crime scene that would leave lasting scars on all who encountered it. 22-year-old Crystal Williams and her mother, 46-year-old Danielle Sims, were both found dead at the scene, having succumbed to their injuries. The brutal attack had claimed the lives of 2 members of a family in an instant, leaving a hole in the hearts of loved ones and a community devastated by the senseless violence. 19-year-old Malachi Williams, who was also shot during the attack, was immediately rushed to Atlanta Medical Center in critical condition, where he received immediate treatment for his gunshot wounds. Though Malachi's physical injuries were severe, the emotional toll of the night would prove to be an even more difficult burden to carry. As investigators processed the scene, it became clear that the shooting was not a random act of violence. The evidence quickly pointed to a targeted and domestic motive. Witness statements and surveillance footage from the area identified Justin Dion Turner, Crystal's ex-boyfriend, as the suspected shooter. The images captured Justine's chilling confrontation with the family, ultimately leading to the deaths of Crystal and Danielle and leaving Malachi fighting for his life. A manhunt was launched immediately, as Justin had managed to flee the scene before police arrived. His escape caused widespread panic within the community, leading to fears of his whereabouts and potential danger. Local businesses and schools were put on alert, and several neighborhoods were locked down as authorities worked tirelessly to track down the fugitive. The hunt for Justin became a priority for law enforcement, as they feared that his violent actions might escalate further. Malachi Williams, Crystal's brother who survived the attack and became a crucial witness to the events, he described how the shooting unfolded in real time. Malachi told investigators that his sister, Crystal, had been trying to escape an abusive and controlling relationship with Justin, and they were leaving the apartment complex when Justin blocked their car. He vividly recalled his mother, Danielle, stepping in front of her children, taking the brunt of the gunfire and trying to shield them. Malachi's testimony was vital in helping authorities understand the motive behind the shooting. He explained that his sister had been attempting to break free from Justin, and it was his jealousy and possessiveness that led him to lash out violently. This information confirmed that the crime was rooted in a toxic and dangerous relationship rather than a random act of violence. As the investigation unfolded, law enforcement traced Justin's car to various locations, but he managed to elude authorities for a while, leaving the community in fear. It wasn't until the following morning, on September 7, 2020, that Justin's location was finally pinpointed and police closed in on him. Justin was arrested in Atlanta several hours after the shooting. He was taken into custody by Dunwoody police officers who had been working with other local and state law enforcement agencies to track his movements. Turner was initially charged with 2 counts of murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony.
A family shattered by violence. A young woman's boyfriend now charged with her and her mother. Her brother was also. Her brother lived to tell the story. He tells our John Sherrick his sister was trying to get away from her boyfriend when he opened fire. And John joins us live tonight from Dunwoody with the scene this young man saw, John, that I'm sure he will never forget.
The brother talked with me on the phone tonight, telling me how the sister's boyfriend came after the family last night with a here at Dunwoody Glen Apartments. He described how their mother gave her life to save her children's lives, jumping in front of the as the boyfriend opened fire. A mother trying to protect her children with her life.
She wasn't kidding when she said she for her children.
Sunday night, Danielle Sims used her body as a shield, trying to save her 22-year-old daughter, Crystal Williams, and 18-year-old son, Malachi Williams. That's what Malachi told me on the phone. He said his sister, Crystal, was arguing with her live-in boyfriend, 23-year-old Justin Dion Turner, and she was trying to get away from him to go home with her mother. And as Crystal and the family were driving out of the apartment complex, Malachi said Turner blocked them with his car.
And out of nowhere, Justin cuts us off and comes out with a and he pulls Crystal out at a point. My mom gets outside and my mom is over her using herself as a shield for my sister, and he was point blank, like he was right there, and he just boom boom boom, and then all of a sudden I guess he just pointed at me. He just wanted me. I don't know how he missed.
Malachi was wounded. Turner drove away. Dunwoody police arrested Turner Monday. Jail records showed Turner was arrested this past April, charged with aggravated assault against a police officer, and was released a few days later. No indication yet what the status of that case is. Malachi Williams speaks of how his sister Crystal had tried to get away from Turner before and could not. He described her as the family's light.
My sister was the funny one. She was just the life of everything. I'm angry and sad. I've never felt that type of combo before. And it's immense anger and sadness. I'll never forgive him ever in my life.
Dunwoody police were interviewing Turner through the night before jailing him on several charges, including 2 counts of.
And in just a few hours from now, the man accused of violently ambushing and his ex-girlfriend and her mother as they were leaving their apartment complex in Dunwoody will face a judge. CBS 46's Trayson Bragg is live outside the DeKalb County Jail where the suspect is right now with what really can be described only as disturbing surveillance video from what happened, Trayson.
Yeah, Gavir, it's very difficult to watch the surveillance video, but as you said, 23-year-old Justin Dion Turner is locked up in the DeKalb County Jail, which you see here behind me. Officials say today at 1 p.m. he'll get his first opportunity to see a judge. Take a look at this surveillance video. It shows the moments leading up to when police say 23-year-old Justin Dion Turner and his ex-girlfriend, 22-year-old Crystal Williams, and her mother, 46-year-old Danielle Sims. Police say Turner cut off the family's vehicle with his car as they exited the Dunwoody Glen Apartments Sunday night. That's when he gets out in hand and the 2 women. According to investigators also say he shot Williams' 18-year-old brother, who luckily survived the vicious attack.
Now he has the rest of his life to think about that bad decision in a moment of passion, and he ruined his life. He took other lives, and it's just senseless.
Again, today at 1 is when officials say Turner will get his first appearance before a judge. Coming up at 6:30, I'll tell you more about what investigators had to say about the double. Reporting live in DeKalb, I'm Trayson Bragg, CBS 46.
Turner's behavior following the shooting was chilling. In his first court appearance, he showed no emotion, offering no remorse for the lives he had taken. He simply stood in front of the judge and was told that he would remain in custody without bond due to the severity of his crimes. His demeanor throughout the proceedings has been one of indifference, which has only angered the victims' families further. As his trial date approaches, Justin faces the very real possibility of life imprisonment, and the pain that he has caused will forever be imprinted on the lives of Crystal, Danielle, and Malachi's loved ones.
The DeKalb County man accused of his ex-girlfriend and her mother appeared in court today. Investigators say Justin Turner also shot a 3rd person who survived.
CBS 46's Adam Murphy covered the case in court today as Turner heard the charges against him.
Your charges are going to be those types of charges that I cannot set bond on.
Just after 1 o'clock Wednesday, DeKalb County Magistrate Judge Joyce Neal announced she could not set bond for 23-year-old Justin Turner.
So what will happen is your attorney will file a bond motion. It usually takes about 2 or 3 weeks to get before a judge, and then a superior court judge will make a decision about whether or not to grant bond.
Turner is charged with his ex-girlfriend, 22-year-old Crystal Williams, and her mother, Danielle Sims. The incident happened outside the Dunwoody Glen Apartments Sunday night. terrorizing the community.
And it was scary that we had to lock our doors because he was still on the loose. And we didn't know the nationality of the person that did it because everything was just blocked off. So we could have been walking into a stranger and it could have been a shooter. So we were just unaware, but we was cautious at the same time.
Jail records show Turner has a criminal past. He was charged with aggravated assault against a police officer in April. And now he's an accused.
Not only did he throw his life away, he took somebody's life just because, you know, they had some kind of domestic dispute.
It is senseless. It is heartbreaking, and, you know, it just make our community even more stronger and tighter that, you know, you'll never know when it's your last day. And it's just sad. I just sum it up, just sad.
Turner showed no emotion and had nothing to say while in court today. He will now go before a Superior Court judge in a couple of weeks. In Dunwoody, Adam Murphy, CBS 46 News.
Malachi, the only survivor of the shooting, gave a heartbreaking account of the event in his testimony. He recounted how Crystal was trying to escape the toxic relationship and escape the abusive grip of her ex-boyfriend. Malachi was just a teenager at the time, and his emotional recounting of the horrific violence left the court in stunned silence. He explained how his mother, Danielle, heroically shielded her children from harm, taking the full brunt of the violence in an attempt to protect her family. His words, filled with raw emotion, further illuminated the terrifying nature of that night. His survival and ability to tell the story have been pivotal in the case, providing crucial testimony that has helped paint a clearer picture of Justin's escalating violence and disregard for human life. The justice system is now tasked with ensuring that Justin is held accountable for his heinous actions and that the pain inflicted on this family is not forgotten. In the aftermath of the killings, the reactions of Crystal Williams' family and the local community have been nothing short of heartbreaking. Crystal's family, led by her grieving father and brother, have been vocal about their devastation and sense of betrayal. They spoke about how Crystal, a young woman with so much potential, had her life tragically cut short. Her mother, Danielle Sims, who was known for being a loving and supportive figure, was also mourned deeply by friends and family. His arrest, though swift, did nothing to bring back the lives lost or the immense grief his actions caused to the family and community. The community in Dunwoody, Georgia, which was shaken by the violent act, rallied around the family in support. Crystal and Danielle's death sparked an outpouring of grief, and many spoke about how the tragic event underscored the dire need for more awareness around domestic violence and the lengths to which abusers will go to maintain control over their victims. Family members, in their pain, have been calling for more comprehensive support systems for women trying to leave abusive relationships. They are speaking out not just for Crystal, but for all those who suffer in silence, hoping that no one else will have to face such a horrific fate. A vigil was held for both Crystal and Danielle, where friends, family, and community members came together to honor their memories. It was a somber gathering, with many lighting candles and sharing stories about Crystal's warm spirit, her love for her family, and the way she had been working hard to build a future for herself and her loved ones. The vigil served as a moment of unity and a reminder of the preciousness of life. Crystal and Danielle were laid to rest in a ceremony that brought together family, friends, and the community to bid them a final farewell. The funeral was held at a local church where family members spoke about the impact that Crystal had on their lives. Crystal, whose bright smile and caring nature left an indelible mark on everyone she met, was remembered fondly by her friends and colleagues. The funeral was also an emotional moment for Malachi, who expressed both the anger and sorrow he felt for the loss of his sister and mother. As the community grieved, there was a collective recognition of how fragile life can be and how critical it is to offer support to those in relationships where violence and control are present. The funeral wasn't just a goodbye, it was a call to action. It brought to the forefront the urgent need for better protection for those trying to escape abusive situations. While justice is being pursued for Crystal and Danielle, their tragic deaths raise many important questions. How can we prevent domestic violence before it escalates to deadly levels? What more can be done to protect individuals who are trying to leave abusive relationships?
and what systems can be put in place to ensure that those who choose to harm others, whether emotionally or physically, are stopped before they can carry out such atrocities. The community and authorities are seeking answers, and so should we all. Everyone deserves to live without fear, and the brutal loss of Crystal and Danielle reminds us that silence around abuse can have deadly consequences. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.